Welcome to my channel and welcome to another episode of my vlog. How are you guys? Or should I say, wie geht's euch? Yes, you guys heard that right. That was German for how are you, informally. And I started off with that phrase because today we are going to be talking about learning the German language. I am low-key excited on making this video because I really wanted to share the whole learning a new language process with you guys. And as you guys know, I've been here already for quite some time and I've been learning the German language the whole time. And to say it was easy would be a lie. Especially at the start, it was really hard. But all in all, the journey was really fun. I got to learn a lot of new stuff and really understand the language and culture as well. So today I'll be sharing with you guys a quick overview about the German language, how it is, and then I'll be sharing my experience, like a comparison to where I started and how I am now, what were my improvements. And then I'm gonna share with you guys a few tips and tricks for those of you willing to learn the German language, maybe for future plans or just out of curiosity learning a new language. And to end this vlog, we're gonna do a quick Q&A, which I'm really excited about. We've got a lot of interesting questions from a poll I made on Instagram. And yeah, that's quite a lot to cover, so let's start. This is comfy. Okay, so one thing to consider when planning to study in Germany, Switzerland, or Austria is of course the language, which is German. And for the German language, there are 6 levels in total. That's A1, A2, B1, D2, C1, C2. 6. And A1 being the absolute beginner, and C2 being the last level, that's Muttersprachlerniveau or mother tongue level. Not really there actually. So in A1, you learn the basics like introducing yourself, daily common words, and then making simple sentences out of it. That's basically A1 level. Then on A2, you progress to learning more words used on a daily basis, like things in the kitchen, things at school, and everything else. And then you start learning a bit of grammar. And for me, B1 and B2 has a lot of grammar in it. It's basically the foundation, like B1 is the foundation of a lot of grammar stuff. Also B2, like you learn more complex grammar there. And then C1, you kind of review some of the old ones and you add a bit of grammar, which is quite deeper and quite more complex. And then you start with a lot of essay writing in C1, like really long essays. That's in C1. Though you already start around B1, B2 to formulate some text. But C1 is more on essays, and as you progress to C2, yeah, it's kind of like college prep. So sometimes there are readings and then you have to make an essay out of it, or a reflection or something, whatever your teacher thinks about. So that's C2 for you guys, and more on impromptu stuff. So you're like daily conversations at a more academic level that prepares you for university. So that's basically the overview of the German language. So you start from A1 and then end at C2, but it actually depends on your purpose. Like most of the universities, they only require until a C1 level, but of course C2 is also good if you have the time to learn, so that's okay. But mostly C1, I guess you're good to go already, like you can understand. And then as time goes by and the more you stay here, it's like it just happens. It's magic. So yeah. So quick story time on my learning German journey. So when I first started learning German, it was still back in Cebu. I was like, sure na ba? Yeah, it was really a huge shock because first of all, umlauts. I was like, I don't know how to say it the way I did before, but it was really bad. I mean, how could two dots make such a difference? And then came the article, or like the gender for nouns, and it was like tas. I mean, how could a spoon be a he? Get what I mean, English speaking folks. So it was really a huge adjustment, and of course the first step in learning a language is really hard, because that's when you start to adjust a lot. Now it's really becoming sort of like a daily habit already. I feel comfy speaking German, even though it's right after I get up and go to the kitchen. It also helped to live with German flatmates, because that way early in the morning I got to say German, and yeah, it's quite fun actually. So the next thing I want to share with you guys are some tips and tricks on how you can learn German language for you language enthusiasts out there, or those interested in trying to learn the German language. Then this part's for you. Okay, so first tip is learning the nouns. So when you learn nouns, they always remember, like what I said, there's dirty das, which basically just translates to the, and the. That's masculine, feminine, and neutral. And for every noun, there's always a corresponding article, so dirty or das. And for the second tip, that's learning vocabulary. Of course, when learning any language, vocabulary is always one of the most important parts, aside from grammar, of course, because how would you build sentences without learning a lot of words? So when learning new vocabulary, I suggest to maybe write them down, and then just not write them down, also make a sentence out of it. That way it sticks better in your brain, and you know how to use it the right way too. The third tip I'd like to share with you guys is more on the speaking part. So when I was learning German still back in the Philippines, I didn't have a conversational partner, so the speaking was kind of behind compared to my writing progress. Later on, I discovered this really cool trick. It's you listen to a podcast of your choice, like something with a topic that interests you, and then pick out a podcast that's an interview, and then act as if you're the one being interviewed and answer the questions. So every time they ask a question, hit that pause button and try answering it yourself. It may sound weird at first, but you'll see that it's actually fun, especially if you like the topic, and it really helps improve. It helped me, so hopefully it would help you guys too if you guys are interested. That not only works on German, actually, it works on any other language, and also improves your communication skills. Okay, so those were the tips and tricks I have for you guys. I hope you guys found it useful in a way. And now going to my most awaited part, the Q&A. And thank you, friends, for supporting me and asking me some very interesting questions. Okay, so the first question we got is favorite words. So I thought of 3 of my top favorite words. The first one is egal. Egal basically translates to English like whatever, or it doesn't matter. I just find it really nice and satisfying because it's just like 2 syllables, and it's like, aber egal, ich mag es trotzdem, or like, it's egal, it's 2 syllables, or like whatever. So second word is Luftschloss, which literally translates to air castle, or maybe castle in the sky. So it means something that you wish for but you can't have, something like that, like a dream thing that's hard to reach, Luftschloss. And I learned it from a German song, like back when I was around in A2 or B1 level. And there was this song like, ich kann dir kein Standhaus bieten, nur ein Luftschloss bitten, kein Candlelight in Paris. That part, there was Luftschloss, so I looked it up and that's what it meant. And then for the third word, I really find this one very cute. Kabelsalat, guys know when you have those earphones, the one with wires, or even your phone charger, like these wires getting tangled up? They call that cables here, kabel. So it's literally wire salad, like kabel salad. So that's the thing. Kabel salad, I just find it very amusing and very cute to hear. Kabel salad. So yeah, those were my top 3 favorite words in German. And next question is, do you think in German naman? Okay. So, okay. Honestly, sometimes I do. Especially when I have to write essays, I have to think in German so that it would be much easier for the words to flow and more natural. Because when you write essays and then you think of like an English or like your mother tongue on your head, it gets awkward when you try to translate it. So I suggest to think in German so the ideas could flow more naturally and the essay also sounds more natural. Also when I talk. So yes, it happens. I have to think in German. Next, what did you wish you knew before learning it? Okay. I didn't really have much expectations, although I could say that I really thought it was gonna be super hard, but I didn't let that hinder me. Maybe something I wish I knew would be the articles, like the dirty does, like what I mentioned. Yeah, it would be really helpful if I knew that beforehand. And then, next. Oh, this one's interesting. Similarities with Cebuano, if there are any. Okay, so for me, German grammar, like some of the structures are quite similar to Cebuano, which is my dialect from Cebu. So an example for that maybe would be asking questions. Like for example, in German, you ask "Kommst du?" That means "Are you coming?" And then in English, yeah, that would be "Are you coming?" But in Cebuano, you would say "Adto ka," like "Moadto ka." So it's directly the verb and you. Moadto is like the verb, conjugated verb, and then ka is you, which is quite similar to German, which like kommst du. Like kommst is the verb and then du is you. Where in English there's like are you going, so like there's still a verb there, like are. So yeah, that's a similarity. Kommst du, moadto ka. So that's a similarity I find which between German and Cebuano. And for our last question, which do you think is more difficult, writing in German or speaking in German? Honestly, now I find writing in German more difficult because I see my mistakes and I notice them, and for people who really, like the locals here, they would really notice the mistakes right away. Before I found speaking harder, but now I feel more confident. So right now, it would be writing in German. So that ends my vlog for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned some new interesting stuff about the German language. If you guys have any more questions or things you'd like to know, feel free to message me on my social media accounts, and I'll see you guys on the next vlog. Bye! Ciao ciao!